Hi everyone, Zoltan here, and in this video we will test the GeForce3 Ti 200. So this card was released after the original's GeForce 3 card with a lower clock. Instead of 200, if I remember well, it clocked at 175, and also the memories are lower clocked. There is a faster version than the original GeForce, which is the Ti 500. If you want to know a lot about this GeForce, this Median GeForce One, check out Phil's Computer Lab because he has an amazing video about GeForce 3. And this is the same card. It's not from Electromine, it's from eBay, but I'm absolutely sure it's the same card. And because I enjoyed his video, I acquired this card and I want to test it with my games and my build. I always believed that this is a floppy connector, power to the card, but actually this is an OM card, or it was, and this is for extra connections of front panel or something, so it doesn't require any external power. Passively cooled. And let's just talk about the details of this card. So previously we tested GeForce 2 Ti or Pro card, which are faster than the GeForce 2 GTS, and this card basically uses the same architecture but with a great improvement. While the GeForce 2 is a DirectX 7 card, this card supports DirectX 8, which means it will have pixel shader 1.1 and vertex shader 1.1 as well. So this card was extended with programmable pixel shaders, basically the 4 pixel shader just like in the GeForce 2 cards, and an extra vertex shader, and it also keeps the hardware TNL engine because the vertex shader is just not fast enough to totally substitute the TNL engine. So the most important is about this is the programmable pixel and vertex shaders, and also there is the improved memory architecture, which is called the lightweight. Let me just quickly, checking stuff on Wikipedia, and also Anantech has a lot of very nice information about this card. So this was the Lightspeed memory architecture, which basically improved on the the Z buffer with the compression, and also overdrawing, avoiding overdraw with some tests on the Z buffer. So basically the memory bandwidth is better. So these are the two main factors of the GeForce 3 card, and let's just quickly take a look. Also, why the GeForce 2 only supported NISO 2X, which would be somewhere there, this card supports NISO 8, which means the textures are much sharper in the distance with anisotropic filtering, and this card supports MSAA instead of SSAA, or both actually, which is a anti-aliasing method focusing on the edges only, so the performance is much better. They are calling it the Quincunx, or Quincunx AA, which is performant and also looking okay. So this is GPU Z, not from this card, but exactly it should be the same. So the GPU clock is 175, memory is 400, 64 megabyte of RAM, 128 bits, 4 pixel, 1 vertex shader, and it says DirectX 8.1, shader model 1.1, AGP 4X from 2001. So we're gonna test this beautiful GeForce 3 card in this Pentium 4 machine with Windows Millennium, and yeah, we will go through the 3D marks, all we can do about them, and also some games. And my test also extended with Far Cry and Halo, which are awesomely playable with the GeForce 2 as well. I tested it 800 by 600, basically playable in both games with minimum settings, and you will have a frame rate between 30 and 60, and Far Cry sometimes it drops with a lot of loading, and also for Far Cry I had to set the AGP aperture size to 128 megabytes. 64 would be enough, but the 32 set in the BIOS was not enough at all. So yeah, these are the things about the cards, and I think we can jump to the benchmarks and the games as well. So yeah, medium card, pretty nice. VGA connection, what we will use, 8x AGP, and after I will include the graphs, so how well it performs compared to the GeForce 2. So please enjoy the video, and if you have any questions, just write it in the comments section. I would be really happy to answer your questions. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at the results. This is the GeForce 3 Ti 200 AGP4X and 64 megabytes with the Pentium for 3 GHz. So this is a 3D Mark 99. What interesting that the GeForce 2 Ti scored almost exactly the same score, 7500, and the GeForce 2 Ti was 7503, so almost no difference here in 3D Mark 99, which is not a surprise because the chips are not really different, at least basically. So 3D Mark 200, here we have 10,698. With the GeForce 2 Ti, this was around 9,000, so a little improvement here, maybe because of the lightweight memory architecture helped here. And in 3D Mark 2001, 7575. With the GeForce 2 Ti, it was around 4,000. This is a great improvement. It has support for DirectX 8 features, and the GeForce 3 were able to run those tests, like this nature test, also the last one from the game tests. So the thing is, 3D Mark 2001 improved, not double, but almost in score. And let's move to 3D Mark 03. With the GeForce 2 Ti, it was around or exactly 240 3D marks, and we have here just 1133, which is great, 4 times the performance. And here are also you can take a look at the actual scores. Mother Nature requires shader model 2.0, and these tests are with 1.1, which are running with this, but not with the GeForce 2 Ti. And the Wings of Fury is just a very, very little test for fixed function cards. CPU score is okay, fill rates here, vertex shader, yeah, very, very slow. Pixel shader 2, no, and Rectro is a little physics test, requires, I think, vertex shaders, basically. Yeah, this is it. The Sunbuster Live supports 24 sounds or 48, but 60 sound, it would require an ODG2 or something, which is in my error PC, but I'm not planning to move it. And what else we have? It's a little dark here, but we have around 63. This is the lowest score I can get in this really large Quake 3 Team Arena map, and it was like 30 around with the GeForce 2 Ti, and also it's a high resolution 1024 by 768, and it was 800 by 600, I guess, with the GeForce 2 here. And sorry about the brightness changes. I believe I had another picture of Halo here. Let me just go there. Sorry, yeah, I have the Quake 3 39, but the resolution is really small, and there will also, sorry, the Halo test here with 24. We will see Halo very soon. So let's jump to some gameplay and game scores. Okay, so this is Revolt, I think, for the last time in videos, because this game was running very good with GeForce 2 Pro as well, and here I was able to set anisotrope filter and also anti-aliasing, and it looks great. Everything maximum setting, and as you can see the frame rate, it's really nice. I could set VSync and it will be stable 75. I'm almost sure about this. So as you can see, even above 100, sometimes 80 or 90 frames, and it's looking nice, running nice. And I could say the same with the Lego Racers. Of course, that game can only run in 800 by 600, and it was running with all the cards. I'm just testing those games for a moment to see if they are still running with the graphics cards, but yeah, they are running, and they are running very well. Revolt as well. And this is Carmageddon TDR 2000 with the absolutely annoying main menu with those effects. It's really annoying, but it's running at the native resolution here as well. Everything at maximum. I just disabled the land shadows because they were just too dark for me in this game, and now it's looking good. So yeah, it's playable. Frame rate sometimes going below 75 or 60, but as you can see, sometimes it's just great. With the resolution lower than this, it's a stable 75. Yeah, it's playable, at least. Really good, really nice. If you remember the TNT2 version with this game, it was totally different feeling. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So, GTA Vice City native resolution and the longest draw distance, so this game is maxed out. As you can see, the frame rates sometimes are going down really, and sometimes up in the sky. But even if I set the resolution to the lowest, the frames are basically the same. I don't think it's CPU limited with the Pentium 4. I think this game is just or maybe the OS or the hard drive, because it happens when it loads a new area. It can be a little laggy, but it's running fine. It's really bright, and I noticed on the car this reflection, this specular highlight displayed here with the GeForce 3. I wasn't seeing it with the GeForce 2. Also, I think water is a little bit different, and some minor changes as well. Yeah, so this is GTA Vice City running smoothly. And this is Drakan 1280 by 1024, of course everything at the highest. Over the GeForce 2 I was able to increase the resolution here as well, and getting really good frame rates. Sometimes a little drops here, but there are no greater settings in Drakan. Maybe I could force some AA through the driver or something, but I'm not planning to. And here you can see like 40 frames sometimes. Yeah, it's playable, it's looking great. The textures are really sharp with this card. I'm saying that many times, but really you can experience it. It's it's really different than the GeForce 2, maybe the RAM deck or something, but the analog output is much sharper with this card. And this is an awesome game, and I think for all of those 2000 games, the GeForce 3 is the best. You can set high resolutions, nice graphics, and it's running smooth. Yeah, little fight between the enemies, and we're dead. And this is a Unreal Tournament, the classic one. Improvement here that I also increased the resolution to 1280 by 1024, and it's running really great. Sometimes little frame drops occur with lower resolution. It's absolutely running at stable 75. Yeah, Unreal Tournament with OpenGL, because the direct 3D render with Windows 9X is laggy, but OpenGL is awesome here. Colors are very sharp, 32-bit, everything at maximum, and the GeForce 3 is a really good card for these older shooter games. And of course it still looks awesome. So it's a game from '99 with some patches, but yeah, it's all the original game. Enjoyable. Unreal Tournament 2004, 1280 by 1024, everything at the lowest settings, except the sound quality is high as well. So the frame rates are really fluctuating, like 30, 40, 60, you see 70 here, sometimes even 100, but it's playable, it's smooth, it's a very demanding map. In deathmatch games or levels, it's even smoother, it could be really stable. I wouldn't increase any settings, textures and stuff, maybe I could do that, but since the frame rate dropping even with these settings, I don't think it's necessary, but I like the sharp pixels and the native resolution of the screen, so I'm going with the resolution first and then some settings. I am really interested how it will perform with the GeForce 4 after this. Yeah, it's playable, it's nice, you could set it to a lower resolution and put on some texture detail and other stuff, and it will be great, but it's great that way as well. And this is Quake 3 Team Arena here, running at 1280 by 1024, almost at the maximum 91 frame per seconds right now. Sometimes a little drops, but it's nice, sharp, and running smoothly. Actually, it's a very great experience. Improvement from the GeForce 2 Ti, because it was able to run it at 1024 by 768 only, around the same frames but a little bit less, and this is a very demanding level. Other or normal Quake 3 levels are less intense. So Quake 3 is great. Also, but just quickly, other games. I'm not testing the 2D games and others. I've checked them, they're all running. They were running with all the cards, so no need to test those, like Roller Coaster, Mario, and other games I tested with the TNT2. So yeah, this is Quake 3. Really nice here. And this is Series Sam, the first encounter on the GeForce 3 Ti 200. Here it is. The resolution is 1280 by 1024. So this is the native resolution of my monitor. The settings are on quality. So yeah, basically that's it. I don't want to set any AA or AF in the drivers, or yeah, basically sometimes there are frame drops to the 50s or 40s, but it's rare in actual play. It's pretty smooth. So yeah, 40 something. I think it's quite nice with one resolution lower, like 1024 by 768. It's around 100 frames per second and down to 55 or 60. But yeah, this is the native resolution, much sharper and enjoyable. And this is Halo Combat Evolve 1024 by 768, and I had to force the fixed pipeline, or how do you say? You say that use FF, fixed function. Yeah, that's the word here, because otherwise it's horrible. So resolution and textures at high. Other settings like particles and decals are disabled, and it's running really smoothly compared to the GeForce 2. I could increase the resolution just one from 800 by 600 to this, and also I could set high textures instead of low, and it runs a little better, higher frame rate. But first, as I started the game, it defaulted to pixel shader 1.1, and everything just looked much better. Like the water was really great, and all the textures, materials were reflecting, and it was really nice. But even at 640 by 480, everything at minimum, the game was crawling like 10 frames per second, sometimes even less, so it was laggy as hell. I had to force the fix function. But the graphics is really different with the pixel shader. It looks much better, more like a modern game. But with the fix function, it's like a lot of texture, replication, mirroring, and you see those checkerboard patterns on the textures, and here you can see this really blurry texture on the ground with the fix function. Yeah, and with pixel shader 1.1 it looks much better, but it's completely unplayable. I hope you will be able to see the GeForce 4 test, and you will see that I'm almost sure that I will be able to set pixel shader 1.1, and I will show you this game, how it looks with that. So this is Halo, playable but only with the fixed function. Okay guys, I decided just to try out Halo again, and now I set the default 11 pixel shader stuff 1.1 exactly, with the same 1024 by 768 resolution here with the high textures. Yeah, it's a little bit too much, but as you can see, somehow this level is playable. The other level was yeah, even more taxing. So here you can see the frames are nice, but with those drops below 20, this game is not too playable. The texture resolution doesn't help, even if I set it to low, but somehow it's much more playable than the first level was. So yeah, and as you can see, those rocks textures in the texture just below our legs is sharper. It's using some detailed textures with shader model, and also the enemies and the weapon has this specular highlight stuff, and you can see the flashlight, and it's actually lighting up in the area instead of just using mesh with a point light or something. It's much nicer, but laggy. And you can see the normal mapping on the ground with the lights here, so it looks better, but started to be really laggy. And this is Far Cry. I was able to test it with the GeForce 2 as well, and now we are testing it with the GeForce 3. Just to tell, I had some issues with the installation. I tried the 1.4 patch and it's completely messing up the game. I can't even start it. And with the basic 1.0 version, I can go into the menu, but when it starts to load the game, it just freezes forever. But if I use the 1.33 patch, the game is completely perfectly playable. With the GeForce 2, with 800 bucks, 600, it was okay, it was playable, and yeah, but it was looking differently. The water was just blue, flat, but translucent, plain, and even those normal mapping like textured details were missing. Far Cry is better somewhat than Halo because you don't have to force any shader stuff here. The water is improved with DirectX 8 with this card. It now looks much better, translucent, some waves on it. It looks okay actually, and it runs very smooth. If you set the settings to higher shaders and stuff, and then it will increase the shader detail, and then it will make the card really suffer. You can see some normal mapping here. Everything is set to low, and this is the native resolution 1280 by 1024, and it's looking great. It runs smooth, sometimes dropping below 30, sometimes really great. And once more, excuse me for the background baby crying. I just have no option to avoid it. So in this weekend we will have this little background here. Yeah, so this is Far Cry running nice. I'm not setting anything higher because even in some areas and fighting and a lot of movement, and if you see so much on the land, it can the FPS can go really down, but it looks much better down with the GeForce 2. All those little details are really visible, even if the textures are blurry and not so detailed. You can see everything just blurred. I could say that lower resolution textures, but everything is there. Even the rocks and everything looked really like DirectX 7 with the DirectX 7 card. So yeah, Far Cry also playable, and it runs on Windows 9X, Windows Millennium actually. And yeah, so this is the video. In the end I will put the usual graphs, and yeah, I tried games like Doom 3, I wanted Half-Life 2 and those, but they are not supporting Windows Millennium. Also the 3D Mark 05, of course it's shader mode 2, but basically it's not supporting Windows 9X. I would need Windows 2000 and XP for that. So these are the games I can play in this machine right now, and maybe it will change with the other cards, but with the GeForce 3 we see improvements. So one resolution up from the GeForce 2, and yeah, you can use pixel shader, vertex shader in games, but in some places it's just not playable because it's more demanding, and in other games like Far Cry here it really helps really nicely optimize the game. And I'm just taking a look at the GeForce 4 in the corner because this will be the next card I'm gonna test. So thank you so much for watching, and once more sorry about the noises, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thank you and bye bye.